Integrity is a word that is tossed around a lot. Do you think about it much in terms of you and how you might slip in and out of integrity? And what is integrity anyway, really, when you get down to it? Let's talk about that today. Hi, I'm Bob Doyle, one of the featured teachers in the film and book The Secret. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m., we talk about brain rewiring, which is really what personal transformation is all about. And if you watched The Secret or are interested in the law of attraction, what you're probably after is some sort of life transformation, right? You want your experience of life to be better. You have dreams, you have a vision, and you'd like to see them fulfilled, right? That's good, because that's why you're here. We're born with this incredible reality creation machine called our brain. We have this imagination where we can just craft anything in our mind and live into it if we so choose. It's that living into it when we so choose that's where people get hung up. And so they go to the law of attraction because they think, oh, look, this seems sort of like a little magical way to make this happen. And when they come in that door, the magical door, results may vary. So let's talk about integrity in the way that and how I'm defining it. I have basically two different key definitions of integrity. One, the simplest one, being doing what you say you're gonna do. And then two, acting in alignment with how you're presenting yourself to be, okay? So a slip in either of those areas has consequences. Now, some of them are obvious and what happens on the outside, and we'll touch on that, but it's really more important what happens to you on the inside when this happens. So not doing what you say you are going to do. Now, sometimes people just freaking overcommit. They overcommit. They don't have boundaries. They just say, oh yeah, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, with the best of intentions. And then they just realize, oh, I see, there's 24 hours in a day, not 24,000 hours in a day. And so they can't do what they said they were going to do. Other times you say you're going to do something and you just get to the point of that and you say, I'm just not going to do it. And that can be something that you told yourself you were going to do, or that you told someone else you were going to do. Either way, now obviously if you don't do something you say you're going to do for another person, well, those consequences are obvious. They get to be disappointed at you, and there's consequences, there's outer consequences, right? But then there's when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, it feels like you're letting yourself off the hook for this thing. It actually feels good to not do the thing that you said you were going to do, because, right, the only reason you're not doing it is because there's some level of discomfort around it. So when you let yourself off the hook, you get to know, oh, good, I don't have to do that anymore. And no one has to know about it because I just told myself I was going to do it. However, that has a biological impact on your brain. You define yourself as a person who does not have to do what they say they're going to do, / doesn't do what they say they're going to do. So you're defining yourself as that, as a person, you know what I'm trying to say. And that's going to work subconsciously, forever. If you are a person, if you can't depend on yourself to do what you say you're going to do, how are you ever going to take the action necessary to get where you want to go? Here's a hint, you won't. You have to start being a person who does what they say they're going to do. And if that's a real problem, be very mindful of what you say you're going to do and make sure you can do it and will do it. Right? It's not just because of what happens out there as a result of you doing it. It's what happens in here. You're basically breaking your reality creation machine because it means nothing. What the promises you make to yourself mean nothing. So you can't, in fact, you set yourself up from the very beginning. If you define yourself as a person who lets yourself off the hook, you'll never have to complete anything as long as you're in charge of it and it doesn't affect anybody else. But there's going to be times when you drop the ball out there and there are going to be consequences and you're not going to move closer to your vision, are you? We want everything we do to move us closer to our vision, even if it seems like maybe a step back. But we want all of our action to be in alignment with who we want to be. And I'm quite sure that ideally we all want to be a person who who does what they say they're gonna do. That's how shit gets done. And if you don't do it, then it doesn't get done, and then things don't happen and go, oh, the law of attraction doesn't work. How did that happen? Where'd the law of attraction come into there? Hey, just a quick interruption. If you like what you see here, be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so we can let you know the next time we post a video like this. All right, moving forward. The other part, though, is acting in alignment with who you say you're going to be. If you are presenting to the world that you are this, but then who you're acting, the movements you're taking, the action the things you're actually thinking in life are not, there's a dissonance there, and you're not in integrity. Who you're being and who you are, say you're being, are not integrated. Therefore, you are out of integrity. And that, again, is doing brain damage to you. You're telling yourself you're an imposter, you're doing all this other stuff, whatever it is. You can rationalize it all day and act it out there all day, and you might be able to actually fool some people. But that's not what's important. What's important is your experience of the quality of your life. How do you feel about who you're being? You need to feel great, and it shouldn't be attached to how much money you're making by being it. If you're struggling with being in alignment with the person that you say that you're being, let's just assume that the person that you're saying that you're being or presenting yourself as being is who you truly want to be. But who you're actually acting day to day is not that. Now, this is the starting point. So now you've seen the gap. This is good as long as you begin to act like this. Now, presenting yourself as this and being it is a little different. Anybody can go out there and BS a crowd of people, but inside they know they're BSing. So what's happening inside is congruent with that and all the yuckiness aside that's associated with that. However, you can still go up there and present and be that at the same time, even if there are certain external pieces of evidence that you think are necessary for you to actually claim being it. I hope that made sense. Like, instead of going up there and BSing your way through it, just be it for real. And don't worry about the fact that there's evidence that your brain or your ego is looking for to justify you saying that you are this person. When I started, because I've been asked, a handful of times, because I was not in the personal development industry for decades or however long before I was in The Secret, like a lot of the people were. And, how did you end up in The Secret? How did you were a broadcaster, you were a DJ, you were whatever, you were struggling. How did you end up in The Secret? Where did you come from? Right? And it's a fair question. But I had come across whatever. I then started integrating the law of attraction in my life a few years before The Secret. I put out my first law of attraction program, and at the time, now this is a big part of my story, which many of you have probably heard, but I want to put it in a different context, or hopefully a more powerful context. When I started my business or whatever with the Wealth Beyond Reason program, such as it was, I did not claim myself as anything more than a facilitator of the information, because my ego wouldn't let me say I'm an expert, because I was just learning. So I just felt better with saying I'm a facilitator, I'm bringing this in, I'm sort of giving you my take on it, and I'm putting it out there. But I realized that, well, if I'm just that, is that really what I want to be? Do I just want to be a facilitator, or do I really want to be able to help people, not just give them and point them information? Do I want, and who do I need to be in order to do that? And still have the things that I want in my life, right? So there was, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be successful at communicating these principles to people, actually helping them with the law of attraction specifically back at that time, but also creating a life I loved with the abundance I wanted and the lifestyle I wanted and the whole thing. So I had to shift from being one day I might be that, or I'm only this, to I am this expert. I am this person who can speak with authority on this. I am right now, today, the person who is going to be the conduit of this message in a way that is going to make an impact. Now that was, 3 years before The Secret? Two years before I got the call of The Secrets, the call for The Secret. So really I was only in it 2 years. But my whole conversation and the way I was being changed in that moment. And in that moment also is when I started to get all like the downloads, and the program went from this small little, it was 5 ebooks and a couple of audios I put together to this freaking massive, like too big. It's too big, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But it just content was flowing because I claimed myself as someone else, not just a facilitator. I wanted to be the conduit of the information, and boom, it happened. And then 2 years later, I was in the freaking secret. So that's just the power of claiming it now and being it now and not waiting for any sort of evidence. The evidence will come to you as a result of being it. So, but you got to be it. You know, like I had to, when I made that decision to be that, I did the very best I could to be, to speak, to think, to act as that person would, not the newbie. So whenever I contacted a potential business partner or I was on an interview or whatever, the energy I maintained was, you know what, this is a timeless message that I did not make up, and I'm just allowing it to, who I am is the vessel for that. So I didn't even make it about me. So anyway, that's for what it's worth to you. All right, so just watch your integrity. That's, I guess, what I'm saying. Hey, it's Bob here. If you got value out of what you saw here, please click the like button so that we know what kind of videos we can keep making for you. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, well, I invite you to do that. It's just one click of a button, and click the notification bell so that you'll know the next time we upload a video. In the meantime, share this with friends and family that you care about, and if you'd like to catch up on some of the other stuff we've done here over the years, just click either of these videos. It'll be a good start for you. We'll see you next time.